Azerbaijan, a nation with a majority Turkic and majority Shia Muslim population, was briefly independent, from 1918 to 1920. Following the collapse of the Russian Empire, it was subsequently incorporated into the Soviet Union for 7 decades. Azerbaijan has yet to resolve its conflict with Armenia over Nagorno-Karabakh, a primarily ethnic Armenian-populated region that Moscow recognized in 1923 as an autonomous republic within Soviet Azerbaijan after Armenia and Azerbaijan disputed the territory's status. Armenia and Azerbaijan reignited their dispute over the area in 1988. The struggle escalated militarily after both countries attained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. By May 1994, when a ceasefire took hold, ethnic Armenian forces held not only Nagorno-Karabakh but also 7 surrounding provinces in the territory of Azerbaijan. The Osmansk Group, co-chaired by the US, France, and Russia, is the framework established to mediate a peaceful resolution of the conflict.
In the 25 years following its independence, Azerbaijan succeeded in significantly reducing the poverty rate and has directed revenues from its oil and gas production to significant development of the country's infrastructure. However, corruption in the country is widespread, and the government has been accused of authoritarianism. The country's leadership has remained in the Aliyev family since Heydar Aliyev became president in 1993 and was succeeded by his son, President Ilham Aliyev, in 2003. Following 2 national referendums in the past several years that eliminated presidential term limits and extended presidential terms from 5 to 7 years, President Aliyev secured a 4th term as president in April 2018 in an election that international observers noted had serious shortcomings. Reforms to diversify the country's non-oil economy remain dependent on subsidies from oil and gas revenues, while other reforms have not adequately addressed weaknesses in most government institutions, particularly in the education and health sectors, as well as the court system.
Geography.
Azerbaijan.
Location. Southwestern Asia, bordering the Caspian Sea, between Iran and Russia, with a small European portion north of the Caucasus Range.
Geographic coordinates: 4030 N, 4730 E.
Map references: Asia.
Area total:
86,600 square kilometers.
Land:
82,629 square kilometers.
Water:
3,971 square kilometers.
Note:
includes the exclave of Naxchivan Autonomous Republic and the Nagorno-Karabakh region. The region's autonomy was abolished by Azerbaijani Supreme Soviet on the 26th of November 1991.
Country comparison to the world:
114.
Area comparative: about 3/4 the size of Pennsylvania, slightly smaller than Maine.
Land boundaries: total
2,468 kilometers.
Border countries: 5.
Armenia 996 kilometers, Georgia 428 kilometers, Iran 689 kilometers, Russia 338 kilometers, Turkey 17 kilometers.
Coastline: 0 kilometers. Landlocked. Note: Azerbaijan borders the Caspian Sea, 713 kilometers.
Maritime claims: none. Landlocked.
Climate: dry, semi-arid steppe.
Terrain: large, flat Kararaz-Overligi, Kura-Arak lowland, much of it below sea level, with Great Caucasus Mountains to the north, Karabakh-Yelarsi, Karabakh upland. To the west, Baku lies on Abzaron-Yasakliji, Absheron Peninsula, that juts into Caspian Sea.
Elevation: mean elevation
384 m.
Elevation extremes:
-28 m lowest point.
Caspian Sea:
4,466 highest point.
Bezadazadagi.
Natural resources: petroleum, natural gas, iron ore, non-ferrous metals, bauxite.
Land use: agricultural land
57.6%.
Arable land
22.8%. Permanent crops
2.7%. Permanent pasture
32.1%.
Forest
11.3%.
Other
31.1%.
Irrigated land 14,277 square kilometers.
Population distribution: highest population density is found in the far eastern area of the county, in and around Baku. Apart from smaller urbanized areas, the rest of the country has a fairly light and evenly distributed population.
Natural hazards: droughts.
Environment: current issues. Local scientists consider the Abzaron-Yasakliji, Absheron Peninsula, including Baku and Sumkayat, and the Caspian Sea to be ecologically most devastated area in the world because of severe air, soil, and water pollution, Soil pollution results from oil spills, from the use of DDT pesticide, and from toxic defoliants used in the production of cotton. Surface and underground water are polluted by untreated municipal and industrial wastewater and agricultural runoff.
Environment, international agreements. Party 2.
Air pollution, biodiversity, climate change Kyoto Protocol, desertification, endangered species, hazardous wastes, marine dumping, ozone layer protection, ship pollution, wetlands.
Signed, but not ratified.
None of the selected agreements.
Geography. Note, both the main area of the country and the Naxchivan exclave are landlocked.
People and society.
Azerbaijan.
Population 10,046,516.
Country comparison to the world.
90.
Nationality. Noun.
Azerbaijani. S.
Adjective.
Azerbaijani.
Ethnic groups. Azerbaijani 91.6%, Lezgin 2%, Russian 1.3%, Armenian 1.3%, Talysh 1.3%, other 2.4%.
Note:
the separatist Nagorno-Karabakh region is populated almost entirely by ethnic Armenians.
Languages: Azerbaijani, Azeri, official, 92.5%, Russian 1.4%, Armenian 1.4%, other 4.7%.
Religions: Muslim 96.9%, predominantly Shia. Christian 3%, other less than 0.1, unaffiliated less than 0.1. Less than / voice required equals name equals see a voice Jess. English, England, greater than note less than / voice required equals name equals Ivona to Brian greater than religious affiliation is still nominal in Azerbaijan. Percentages for actual practicing adherents are much lower less than / voice required equals name equals see a voice Jess. English, England, greater than age structure less than / voice required equals name equals Ivona to Brian / voice required equals name equals see a voice Jess. English, England, greater than 14 years less than / voice, 23.05%. Male 1,233,424 / female 1,082,007.
15 to 24 years.
14.03%. Male 743,142 / female 666,550.
25 to 54 years.
45.44%. Male 2,247,545 / female 2,317,630.
55 to 64 years.
10.67%. Male 493,555 / female 578,440.
65 years and over.
6.81%. Male 262,989 / female 421,234.
Population pyramid.
Population pyramid.
Dependency ratios.
Dependency ratios are a measure of the age structure of a population. They relate the number of individuals that are likely to be economically dependent on the support of others. Dependency ratios contrast the ratio of youths, ages 0-14, and the elderly, ages 65 plus, to the number of those in the working age group, ages 15-64. Changes in the dependency ratio provide an indication of potential social support requirements resulting from changes in population age structures. As a fertility level. More dependency ratios field listing.
Total dependency ratio.
40.2.
Youth dependency ratio.
32.1.
Elderly dependency ratio.
8.
Potential support ratio.
12.4.
Median age total.
31.7 years.
Male.
30.2 years.
Female.
33.4 years.
Country comparison to the world.
108.
Population growth rate.
The average annual percent change in the population, resulting from a surplus, or deficit, of births over deaths and the balance of migrants entering and leaving a country. The rate may be positive or negative. The growth rate is a factor in determining how great a burden would be imposed on a country by the changing needs of its people for infrastructure, for example, schools, hospitals, housing, roads, resources, for example, food, water, electricity, and jobs. Rapid population growth can be seen as more population growth rate field listing.
0.83%.
Country comparison to the world.
126.
Birth rate, 15.3 births out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
120.
Death rate, 7 deaths out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
128.
Net migration rate, 0 migrants out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
71.
Population distribution. Highest population density is found in the far eastern area of the county, in and around Baku. Apart from smaller urbanized areas, the rest of the country has a fairly light and evenly distributed population.
Urbanization, urban population.
55.7% of total population.
Rate of urbanization.
1.58% annual rate of change.
Major urban areas, population. 2.286 million. Baku, capital.
Sex ratio at birth.
1.09 male apostrophe s/female.
0 to 14 years.
1.15 male apostrophe s/female.
15 to 24 years.
1.09 male apostrophe s/female.
25 to 54 years.
0.96 male apostrophe s/female.
55 to 64 years.
0.86 male apostrophe s/female.
65 years and over.
0.62 male apostrophe s/female.
Total population.
0.98 male apostrophe s/female.
Mother's mean age at first birth, 23.2 years.
Maternal mortality rate.
The maternal mortality rate, MMR, is the annual number of female deaths per 100,000 live births from any cause related to or aggravated by pregnancy or its management, excluding accidental or incidental causes. The MMR includes deaths during pregnancy, childbirth, or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy, irrespective of the duration in sight of the pregnancy, for a specified year. Maternal mortality rate field listing.
25 deaths/100,000 live births.
Country comparison to the world.
121.
Infant mortality rate, total.
23 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Male.
23.9 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Female.
22 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Country comparison to the world.
71.
Life expectancy at birth, total population.
73 years.
Male.
70 years.
Female.
76.4 years.
Country comparison to the world.
143.
Total fertility rate, 1.89 children born/woman.
Country comparison to the world.
134.
Health expenditures, 6% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
105.
Physicians density, 3.4 physicians out of 1,000 population.
Hospital bed density, 4.7 beds out of 1,000 population.
Drinking water source, improved.
Urban,
94.7% of population.
rural,
77.8% of population.
total,
87% of population.
unimproved,
Urban,
5.3% of population.
rural.
22.2% of population.
Total,
13% of population.
sanitation facility access, improved.
Urban,
91.6% of population.
rural,
86.6% of population.
total,
89.3% of population.
unimproved,
Urban,
8.4% of population.
rural.
13.4% of population.
Total,
10.7% of population.
HIV/AIDS adult prevalence rate, 0.1%.
Country comparison to the world.
108.
HIV/AIDS, people living with HIV/AIDS, 8,000.
Country comparison to the world.
106.
HIV/AIDS deaths.
Less than 500. Less than /voice required equals name equals Ivona to Brian greater than obesity. Adult prevalence rate less than /voice required equals name equals Sia voice Jess. English, England, /voice required equals name equals Ivona to Brian greater than 19.9% less than /voice.
Country comparison to the world.
106.
Children under the age of 5 years underweight, 4.9%.
Country comparison to the world.
83.
Education expenditures, 3% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
142.
Literacy definition.
Age 15 and over can read and write.
Total population.
99.8%.
Male.
99.9%.
Female.
99.7%.
School life expectancy. Primary to tertiary education.
School life expectancy, SLE, is the total number of years of schooling, primary to tertiary, that a child can expect to receive, assuming that the probability of his or her being enrolled in school at any particular future age is equal to the current enrollment ratio at that age. Caution must be maintained when utilizing this indicator in international comparisons. For example, a year or grade completed in one country is not necessarily the same in terms of educational content or quality. More school life expectancy, primary to tertiary education, field listing.
Total.
13 years.
Male.
13 years.
Female.
13 years.
Unemployment. Youth ages 15 to 24. Total.
13.4%.
Male.
11.4%.
Female.
15.8%.
Country comparison to the world.
96.
Government.
Azerbaijan.
Country name. Conventional long form.
Republic of Azerbaijan.
Conventional short form.
Azerbaijan.
Local long form.
Azerbaijan Republic Azi.
Local short form.
Azerbaijan.
Former.
Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic.
Etymology.
The name translates as land of fire and refers to naturally occurring surface fires on ancient oil pools or from natural gas discharges.
Government type. Presidential republic.
Capital. Name.
Baku. Baki. Baki.
Geographic coordinates.
4023 N. 4950 to E.
Time difference.
UTC +4, 9 hours ahead of Washington, D.C., during standard time.
Daylight saving time.
Does not observe daylight savings time.
Etymology.
The name derives from the Persian designation of the city, Bakub, meaning wind-pounded city, and refers to the harsh winds and severe snowstorms that can hit the city.
Note.
At approximately 28 m below sea level, because elevation makes it the lowest capital city in the world.
Administrative divisions. 66 rayons, rayon la, rayon, singular, 11 cities, Sahala, Sahar, singular.
Rayons.
Abzaran, Agkabadi, Agdam, Agdas, Agstafa, Agsu, Astara, Babak, Balakan, Bada, Bilakan, Bilasuva, Kabrail, Khalilabad, Kulfa, Daskasn, Fuzilai, Gedabay, Garinboy, Goyke, Goygol, Hasakabul, Imazli, Ismaili, Kalbaka, Kangali, Kudamir, Lasin, Lankaran, Lerik, Masali, Neftkala, Oguz, Ordubad, Kabala, Kaks, Kazakhs, Kobustan, Kba, Kbadli, Kza, Satli, Sabirabad, Sabran, Sadarak, Sabuz, Saki, Salian, Samarksi, Samkr, Samaks, Sara, Sayazan, Sisa, Tata, Tovuz, Yukar, Ksakmaz, Ksizi, Ksokali, Ksokavand, Yardimli, Yevliks, Zangulan, Zakatala, Zardab.
Cities.
Baku, Ganka, Lankaran, Mingasva, Niftalan, Naksivn, Nakhichevan, Saki, Servin, Sumkayat, Ksankandi, Yevluks.
Independence.
For most countries, this entry gives the date that sovereignty was achieved and from which nation, empire, or trusteeship. For the other countries, the date given may not represent independence in the strict sense, but rather some significant nationhood event such as the traditional founding date or the date of unification, federation, confederation, establishment, fundamental change in the form of government, or state succession. For a number of countries, the establishment of statehood. More independence field listing.
The 30th of August 1991, declared from the Soviet Union, the 18th of October 1991, adopted by the Supreme Council of Azerbaijan.
National holiday. Republic Day. Founding of the Democratic Republic of Azerbaijan, 28 May, 1918.
Constitution. History.
Several previous, latest adopted the 12th of November 1995.
Amendments.
Proposed by the President of the Republic or by at least 63 members of the National Assembly. Passage requires at least 95 votes of Assembly members in two separate readings of the draft amendment 6 months apart and requires presidential approval after each of the two Assembly votes, followed by presidential signature. Constitutional articles on the authority, sovereignty, and unity of the people cannot be amended. Amended 2002, 2009, 2016.
Legal system, civil law system.
International Law Organization participation, has not submitted an ICJ jurisdiction declaration, non-party state to the Act.
Citizenship, citizenship by birth.
Yes.
Citizenship by descent only.
Yes.
Dual citizenship recognized.
No.
Residency requirement for naturalization.
5 years.
Suffrage, 18 years of age. Universal.
Judicial branch, highest courts.
Supreme Court, consists of the chairman, vice chairman, and 23 judges in plenum sessions and organized into civil, economic affairs, criminal, and rights violations chambers. Constitutional Court, consists of 9 judges.
Judge selection and term of office.
Supreme Court judges nominated by the President and appointed by the Milli Majlis. Judges appointed for 10 years. Constitutional Court chairman and deputy chairman appointed by the President. Other court judges nominated by the President and appointed by the Milli Majlis to serve single 15-year terms.
Subordinate courts.
Courts of appeal. Replaced the Economic Court in 2002. District and municipal courts.
Executive branch, Chief of State.
President Ilham Aliyev, since the 31st of October 2003. First Vice President Mehriban Aliyeva, since the 21st of February 2017.
Head of Government.
Prime Minister Novroz Mammadov, since the 21st of April 2018. First Deputy Prime Minister Yaqub Ayubov, since June 2006.
Cabinet.
Council of Ministers appointed by the President and confirmed by the National Assembly.
Elections. Appointments.
President directly elected by absolute majority popular vote in 2 rounds if needed for a 7-year term. Eligible for unlimited terms. Election last held on the 11th of April 2018. Next to be held in 2025. Prime Minister and First Deputy Prime Minister appointed by the President and confirmed by the National Assembly. Note: a constitutional amendment approved in the September 2016 referendum expanded presidential terms from 5 to 7 years. A separate constitutional amendment approved in the same referendum also introduced the post of First Vice President and additional Vice Presidents, who are directly appointed by the President.
Election results.
Ilham Aliyev elected President in first round. Percent of vote: Ilham Aliyev, YAP, 86%, Zahido Ayuj, Independent, 3.1%, other 10.9%.
Note:
OSCE observers noted shortcomings in the election, including a restrictive political environment, limits on fundamental freedoms, a lack of genuine competition, and ballot box stuffing.
Legislative branch. Description.
Unicameral National Assembly or Milli Majlis, 125 seats. Members directly elected in single-seat constituencies by simple majority vote to serve 5-year terms.
Elections.
Last held on the 1st of November 2015, next to be held in November 2020.
Election results.
Percent of vote by party, NA, seats by party, YAP 69, XP 2, AV 1, Civil Unity 1, CUP 1, Democratic Enlightenment 1, Democratic Reforms 1, Great Undertaking Party 1, National Renaissance Party 1, Social Democratic Party 1, Social Prosperity Party 1, Whole Azerbaijan Popular Front 1, Independent 43, and Lid 1. Composition: men 104, women 21%, of women 16.8%.
Political parties and leaders. Civil Solidarity Party or CSP, Sabir Rustamkanli Civil Unity Party or CUP, Sabir Hajayev.
Islamic Party of Azerbaijan,
Musavat, Arif Hajili.
Popular Front Party, Ali Karim Ali.
Motherland Party or AVP, Fazil Agamli.
National Renaissance Party,
Social Democratic Party, Ayat Mutalibov.
Social Prosperity Party, Kher and Hussein Kazamali.
Whole Azerbaijan Popular Front Party, Gudrat Sangulayev.
Yeni, New Azerbaijan Party or YAP, President Ilham Aliyev.
International Organization Participation, ADB, PSEC, CD, SICA, CIS, EAPC, EBRD, ECO, ITI, Compliant Country, FAO, GCTU, Guam, ERIA, IBRD, ICAO, ICC, NGOs, ICRM, IDA, IDB, IFAT, IFC, IFCS, ILO, IMF, IMO, Interpol, IOC, IAM, IPU, ISO, ITSO, ITU, ITUC, NGOs, MEGA, NAM, OAS, Observer, OIC, OPCW, OS, PFP, SELEC, Observer, UN, UNCTAD, UNESCO, UNIDO, UNTO, UPU, WCO, WFTU, NGOs, WHO, WIPO, WMO, WTO, Observer.
Diplomatic representation in the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Ambassador Ilan Suleimanov, since the 5th of December 2011.
Chancery.
2741 34th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20008.
Telephone.
12023373500.
Fax.
12023375911.
Consulate. S. General.
Los Angeles.
Diplomatic representation from the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Ambassador, vacant, Charge d'Affaires William Gill, since August 2016.
Embassy.
111 Azadlig Prospecti, Baku AZ 1007.
Mailing address.
American Embassy Baku, U.S. Department of State, 7050 Baku Place, Washington, D.C. 205217050.
Telephone.
994-124-883300.
Fax.
994-124-883330.
Flag description: 3 equal horizontal bands of sky blue, top, red, and green. A crescent and 8-pointed star in white are centered in the red band. The blue band recalls Azerbaijan's Turkic heritage, red stands for modernization and progress, and green refers to Islam. The crescent, moon, and star are Turkic insignia. The 8 star points represent the 8 Turkic peoples of the world.
National symbols.
A national symbol is a final, floral, or other abstract representation, or some distinctive object that over time has come to be closely identified with a country or entity. Not all countries have national symbols. A few countries have more than one. National symbol. S. Field listing.
Flames of fire, national colors.
Blue, red, green.
National anthem.
A generally patriotic musical composition, usually in the form of a song or hymn of praise, that evokes and eulogizes the history, traditions, or struggles of a nation or its people. National anthems can be officially recognized as a national song by a country's constitution or by an enacted law, or simply by tradition. Although most anthems contain lyrics, some do not. National anthem field listing.
Name.
Azerbaijan Marsi, March of Azerbaijan.
Lyrics, music.
Ahmed Javid/Azaya Hajibeyov.
Note.
Adopted 1992. Although originally written in 1919 during a brief period of independence, Azerbaijan Marsi did not become the official anthem until after the dissolution of the Soviet Union.
Economy.
Azerbaijan.
Economy. Overview. Prior to the decline in global oil prices since 2014, Azerbaijan's high economic growth was attributable to rising energy exports and to some non-export sectors. Oil exports through the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline, the Baku-Novorossiysk, and the Baku-Supsa pipelines remain the main economic driver, but efforts to boost Azerbaijan's gas production are underway. The expected completion of the geopolitically important Southern Gas Corridor, SGC, between Azerbaijan and Europe will open up another source of revenue from gas exports. First gas to Turkey through the SGC is expected in 2018, with project completion expected by 2020-21.
Declining oil prices caused a 3.1% contraction in GDP in 2016, and a 0.8% decline in 2017, highlighted by a sharp reduction in the construction sector. The economic decline was accompanied by higher inflation, a weakened banking sector, and 2 sharp currency devaluations in 2015. Azerbaijan's financial sector continued to struggle. In May 2017, Baku allowed the majority state-owned International Bank of Azerbaijan, EIB, the nation's largest bank, to default on some of its outstanding debt and file for restructuring in Azerbaijani courts. EIB also filed in US and UK bankruptcy courts to have its restructuring recognized in their respective jurisdictions.
Azerbaijan has made limited progress with market-based economic reforms. Pervasive public and private sector corruption and structural economic inefficiencies remain a drag on long-term growth, particularly in non-energy sectors. The government has, however, made efforts to combat corruption, particularly in customs and government services. Several other obstacles impede Azerbaijan's economic progress, including the need for more foreign investment in the non-energy sector and the continuing conflict with Armenia over the Nagorno-Karabakh region. While trade with Russia and the other former Soviet republics remains important, Azerbaijan has expanded trade with Turkey and Europe and is seeking new markets for non-oil/gas exports, mainly in the agricultural sector, with Gulf Cooperation Council member countries, the US, and others. It is also improving Baku Airport and the Caspian Seaport of Eilat for use as a regional transportation and logistics hub.
Long-term prospects depend on world oil prices, Azerbaijan's ability to develop export routes for its growing gas production, and its ability to improve the business environment and diversify the economy. In late 2016, the president approved a strategic roadmap for economic reforms that identified key non-energy segments of the economy for development, such as agriculture, logistics, information technology, and tourism. In October 2017, the long-awaited Baku to Tbilisi-Kars railway, stretching from the Azerbaijani capital to Kars in northeastern Turkey, began limited service.
GDP, purchasing power parity, $172.2 billion.
$172.1 billion.
$177.6 billion.
Note:
Data are in 2017 dollars.
Country comparison to the world.
73.
GDP, official exchange rate, $40.67 billion.
GDP, real growth rate, 0.1%.
Minus 3.1%.
0.6%.
Country comparison to the world.
194.
GDP per capita, PPP, $17,500.
$17,700.
$18,500.
Note:
Data in 2017 dollars.
Country comparison to the world.
100.
Gross national saving.
Gross national saving is derived by deducting final consumption expenditure, household plus government, from gross national disposable income, and consists of personal saving, plus business saving, the sum of the capital consumption allowance and retained business profits, plus government saving, the excess of tax revenues over expenditures, but excludes foreign saving, the excess of imports of goods and services over exports. The figures are presented as a percent of GDP. A negative. More gross national saving field listing.
24.6% of GDP.
22.7% of GDP.
27.3% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
63.
GDP composition by end use. Household consumption.
57.6%.
Government consumption.
11.5%.
Investment in fixed capital.
23.6%.
Investment in inventories.
0.5%.
Exports of goods and services.
48.7%.
Imports of goods and services.
Minus 42%.
GDP composition by sector of origin. Agriculture.
6.1%.
Industry.
53.5%.
Services.
40.4%.
Agriculture products. Fruit, vegetables, grain, rice, grapes, tea, cotton, tobacco, cattle, pigs, sheep, goats.
Industries. Petroleum and petroleum products, natural gas, oil field equipment, steel, iron ore, cement, chemicals and petrochemicals, textiles.
Industrial production growth rate, minus 3.8%.
Country comparison to the world.
191.
Labor force, 5.118 million.
Country comparison to the world.
82.
Labor force by occupation. Agriculture.
37%.
Industry.
14.3%.
Services.
48.9%.
Unemployment rate, 5%.
5%.
Country comparison to the world.
73.
Population below poverty line.
National estimates of the percentage of the population falling below the poverty line are based on surveys of subgroups, with the results weighted by the number of people in each group. Definitions of poverty vary considerably among nations. For example, rich nations generally employ more generous standards of poverty than poor nations. Population below poverty line field listing.
4.9%.
Household income or consumption by percentage share.
Data on household income or consumption come from household surveys, the results adjusted for household size. Nations use different standards and procedures in collecting and adjusting the data. Surveys based on income will normally show a more unequal distribution than surveys based on consumption. The quality of surveys is improving with time, yet cautions is still necessary in making inter-country comparisons. Household income or consumption by percentage share field listing.
Lowest 10%.
27.4%.
Highest 10%.
27.4%.
Distribution of family income. Gini index.
This index measures the degree of inequality in the distribution of family income in a country. The index is calculated from the Lorentz curve, in which cumulative family income is plotted against the number of families arranged from the poorest to the richest. The index is the ratio of A The area between a country's Lorentz curve and the 45-degree helping line. 2. B. The entire triangular area under the 45-degree line. The more nearly equal a country's income distribution, the closer its more distribution of family income. Gini index field listing.
33.7.
36.5.
Country comparison to the world.
110.
Budget. Revenues.
9.556 billion.
Expenditures.
10.22 billion.
Taxes and other revenues. 23.5% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
126.
Budget surplus, plus, or deficit, minus 1.6% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
93.
Public debt, 54.1% of GDP.
50.7% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
85.
Fiscal year, calendar year.
Inflation rate, consumer prices, 13%.
12.6%.
Country comparison to the world.
209.
Central bank discount rate, 15%. The 10th of March 2017.
15%, the 14th of September 2016.
Note:
this is the refinancing rate. The key policy rate for the National Bank of Azerbaijan.
Country comparison to the world.
13.
Commercial bank prime lending rate, 12.7%.
12.56%.
Country comparison to the world.
64.
Stock of narrow money, $6.202 billion.
$5.06 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
96.
Stock of broad money, $6.202 billion.
$5.06 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
98.
Stock of domestic credit, $13.31 billion.
$13.44 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
102.
Market value of publicly traded shares, NAR.
Current account balance, $1.685 billion.
Minus $1.363 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
45.
Exports, $15.15 billion.
$13.21 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
78.
Exports. Partners, Italy 23.2%, Turkey 13.6%, Israel 6.1%, Russia 5.4%, Germany 5%, Czech Republic 4.6%, Georgia 4.3%.
Exports, commodities, oil and gas roughly 90%, machinery, foodstuffs, cotton.
Imports, $9.037 billion.
$9.004 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
106.
Imports, commodities, machinery and equipment, foodstuffs, metals, chemicals.
Imports, partners, Russia 17.7%, Turkey 14.8%, China 9.9%, US 8.3%, Ukraine 5.3%, Germany 5.1%.
Reserves of foreign exchange and gold, $6.681 billion.
$7.142 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
88.
Debt, external, $17.41 billion.
$13.83 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
99.
Stock of direct foreign investment, at home, $79.53 billion.
$73.83 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
49.
Stock of direct foreign investment, abroad, $19.6 billion.
$17.05 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
56.
Exchange rates. Azerbaijani manat, AZN, the US dollar dash.
1.723.
1.5957.
1.5957.
1.0246.
0.7844.
Energy.
Azerbaijan.
Electricity access, electrification, total population.
100%.
Electricity, production, 23.57 billion kWh.
Country comparison to the world.
73.
Electricity consumption 20.24 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
71.
Electricity, exports, 265 million kWh.
Country comparison to the world.
71.
Electricity imports 114 million.
Country comparison to the world.
97.
Electricity, installed generating capacity, 7.876 million kW.
Country comparison to the world.
71.
Electricity from fossil fuels. 84% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
74.
Electricity from nuclear fuels. 0% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
42.
Electricity from hydroelectric plants. 14% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
104.
Electricity from other renewable sources. 2% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
133.
Crude oil production 789,300 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
24.
Crude oil exports 718,800 barrel/day.
Country comparison to the world.
19.
Crude oil imports 0 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
92.
Crude oil proved reserves 7 billion barrel.
Country comparison to the world.
18.
Refined petroleum products production 138,900 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
61.
Refined petroleum products consumption 100,000 barrel/day.
Country comparison to the world.
80.
Refined petroleum products exports 46,480 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
57.
Refined petroleum products imports 5,576 barrel/day.
Country comparison to the world.
168.
Natural gas production 16.96 billion qm.
Country comparison to the world.
35.
Natural gas consumption 10.34 billion cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
47.
Natural gas exports 8.042 billion qm.
Country comparison to the world.
24.
Natural gas imports 2.095 billion cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
51.
Natural gas proved reserves 991.1 billion qm.
Country comparison to the world.
25.
Carbon dioxide emissions from consumption of energy 35.6 million mount.
Country comparison to the world.
72.
Communications.
Azerbaijan.
Telephones, fixed lines, total subscriptions
1,688,325.
subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
17.
Country comparison to the world.
61.
Telephones, mobile cellular, total subscriptions
10.127 million.
subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
102.
Country comparison to the world.
83.
Telephone system, general assessment.
More competition exists in the mobile cellular market. Azerbaijan has moderate mobile broadband and fixed broadband penetration compared to other Asian nations. Pre-5G network operating on the TD-LTE standard.
Domestic.
Tele-density of some 17 fixed lines per 100 persons. Mobile cellular tele-density has increased to 102 telephones per 100 persons. Satellite service connects Baku to a modern switch in its exclave of Nakhchivan.
International.
Country code 994. The Transasia Europe (TE) fiber optic link transits Azerbaijan, providing international connectivity to neighboring countries. The old Soviet system of cable and microwave is still serviceable. Satellite Earth stations 2.
Broadcast media, 3 state-run and 1 public TV channels, 4 domestic commercial TV stations and about 15 regional TV stations. Cable TV services are available in Baku. 1 state-run and 1 public radio network operating. A small number of private commercial radio stations broadcasting. Local FM relays of Baku commercial stations are available in many localities. Note: all broadcast media is pro-government, and most private broadcast media outlets are owned by entities directly linked to the government.
Internet country code .as.
Internet users, total
7,720,502.
% of population.
78.2%.
Country comparison to the world.
55.
Broadband, fixed subscriptions, total
1,805,214.
subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
18.
Country comparison to the world.
54.
Transportation.
Azerbaijan.
National Air Transport System. Number of registered air carriers.
2.
Inventory of registered aircraft operated by air carriers.
35.
Annual passenger traffic on registered air carriers.
1,803,112.
Annual freight traffic on registered air carriers.
41,954,600 Mount km.
Civil aircraft registration country code prefix 4K.
Airports. 37.
Country comparison to the world.
107.
Airports with paved runways. Total
30.
over 3,047 m.
5.
2,438 to 3,047 m.
5.
1,524 to 2,437 m.
13.
914 to 1,523 m.
4.
Under 914 m.
3.
Airports with unpaved runways. Total
7.
under 914 m.
7.
Heliports 1.
Pipelines. 89 kilometers condensate. 3,890 kilometers gas. 2,446 kilometers oil.
Railways. Total
2,944 kilometers.
broad gauge
2. 944.3 kilometers 1.520 meter gauge. Approximately 1,767 kilometers electrified.
country comparison to the world.
62.
Roadways. Total
52,942 kilometers.
paved
26,789 kilometers.
unpaved.
26,153 kilometers.
Country comparison to the world.
76.
Merchant marine.
Merchant marine may be defined as all ships engaged in the carriage of goods, or all commercial vessels, as opposed to all non-military ships, which excludes tugs, fishing vessels, offshore oil rigs, etc.
Total
311.
by type.
General cargo 48, oil tanker 48, other 215.
Country comparison to the world.
50.
Ports and terminals. Major seaport. S.
Baku, Baki, located on the Caspian Sea.
Military and security.
Azerbaijan.
Military expenditures 3.64% of GDP.
5.61% of GDP.
4.56% of GDP.
4.54% of GDP.
4.66% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
17.
Military branches: Army, Navy, Air, and Air Defense Forces.
Military service age and obligation 18 to 35 years of age for compulsory military service. Service obligation 18 months or 12 months for university graduates. 17 years of age for voluntary service. 17-year-olds are considered to be on active service at cadet military schools.
Transnational issues.
Azerbaijan.
Disputes. International. Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Russia ratified the Caspian Seabed delimitation treaties based on equidistance, while Iran continues to insist on a 1/5 slice of the sea. The dispute over the breakaway Nagorno-Karabakh region and the Armenian military occupation of surrounding lands in Azerbaijan remains the primary focus of regional instability. Residents have evacuated the former Soviet-era small ethnic enclaves in Armenia and Azerbaijan. Local border forces struggle to control the illegal transit of goods and people across the porous, undemarcated Armenian, Azerbaijani, and Georgian borders. Bilateral talks continue with Turkmenistan on dividing the seabed and contested oil fields in the middle of the Caspian.
Refugees and internally displaced persons. IDPs.
393,000. Conflict with Armenia over Nagorno-Karabakh. IDPs are mainly ethnic Azerbaijanis but also include ethnic Kurds, Russians, and Turks predominantly from occupied territories around Nagorno-Karabakh, includes IDPs' descendants, returned IDPs, and people living in insecure areas and excludes people displaced by natural disasters. Around half the IDPs live in the capital Baku.
Stateless persons.
3,585.
Azerbaijan, officially the Republic of Azerbaijan, Azerbaijani, as Rabakan Republik Arsi, is a landlocked country in the South Caucasus region of Eurasia at the crossroads of Eastern Europe. It is bounded by the Caspian Sea to the east, Russia to the north, Georgia to the northwest, Armenia to the west and Iran to the south. The enclave of Nakhchivan is bound by Armenia to the north and east, Iran to the south and west, and has an 11 kilometers long border with Turkey in the northwest. The Azerbaijan Democratic Republic proclaimed its independence in 1918 and became the first democratic Muslim state. In 1920 the country was incorporated into the Soviet Union as the Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic. The modern Republic of Azerbaijan proclaimed its independence on the 30th of August 1991, shortly before the dissolution of the USSR in the same year. In September 1991, the Armenian majority of the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region seceded to form the Republic of Artsakh. The region and 7 adjacent districts outside it became de facto independent with the end of the Nagorno-Karabakh War in 1994. These regions are internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan pending a solution to the status of the Nagorno-Karabakh through negotiations facilitated by the OSCE. Azerbaijan is a unitary semi-presidential republic. It is a member state of the Council of Europe, the OSCE, and the NATO Partnership for Peace program. It is one of 6 independent Turkic states and an active member of the Turkic Council and the Turk-Soy community. Azerbaijan has diplomatic relations with 158 countries and holds membership in 38 international organizations. It is one of the founding members of GUAM, the Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS, and the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. A member of the United Nations since 1992, Azerbaijan was elected to membership in the newly established Human Rights Council by the United Nations General Assembly on the 9th of May 2006. Its term of office began on the 19th of June 2006. Azerbaijan is also a member state of the Non-Aligned Movement and holds observer status in the World Trade Organization. While more than 89% of the population is Shia Muslim, the constitution of Azerbaijan does not declare an official religion and all major political forces in the country are secularist. Azerbaijan has a high level of human development that ranks on par with most Eastern European countries. It has a high rate of economic development and literacy, as well as a low rate of unemployment. However, the ruling party, the New Azerbaijan Party, has been accused of authoritarianism and human rights abuses. Name. Further information. Atropatene in Caucasian Albania, Azerbaijan and its main cities. According to a modern etymology, the term Azerbaijan derives from that of Atropates, a Persian satrap under the Achaemenid Empire, who was later reinstated as a satrap of Media under Alexander the Great. The original etymology of this name is thought to have its roots in the once dominant Zoroastrianism. In the Avstasfruad and Yasht, hymn to the guardian angels, there is a mention of Atarapate Ashar Ono Fravisham Yazamailed, which literally translates from Avestan as, we worship the Frav Arshi of the holy Atropatene. The name, Atropates, itself is the Greek transliteration of an old Iranian, probably Median, compounded name with the meaning, protected by the holy fire, or a land of the holy fire. The Greek name was mentioned by Diode or Siculus in Strabo. Over the span of millennia, the name evolved to Atapatarkan, Middle Persian, then to Atharbat-Hagan, Atharbiargan, Azerbaijan, New Persian, and present-day Azerbaijan. The name Azerbaijan was first adopted for the area of the present-day Republic of Azerbaijan by the government of Musavat in 1918, after the collapse of the Russian Empire, when the independent Azerbaijan Democratic Republic was established. Until then, the designation had been used exclusively to identify the adjacent region of contemporary northwestern Iran, while the area of the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic was formally referred to as Aran and Shirvan. On that basis, Iran protested the newly adopted country name. During the Soviet rule, the country was also spelled in English from the Russian transliteration as Azerbaijan, Russian. History, Antiquity, further information. Caucasian Albania, petroglyphs in Gobustan National Park dating back to the 10th millennium BC indicating a thriving culture. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site considered to be of outstanding universal value. The earliest evidence of human settlement in the territory of Azerbaijan dates back to the Late Stone Age and is related to the Gurukhay culture of Azok Cave. The Upper Paleolithic and Late Bronze Age cultures are attested in the caves of Tajala, Damakili, Zar, Yatakyarian and the necropolises of Lalatip and Saratip. Early settlements included the Scythians in the 9th century BC. Following the Scythians, Iranian Medes came to dominate the area to the south of the Aras. The Medes forged a vast empire between 900 to 700 BC, which was integrated into the Achaemenid Empire around 550 BC. The area was conquered by the Achaemenids, leading to the spread of Zoroastrianism. Later it became part of Alexander the Great's empire and its successor, the Seleucid Empire. During this period, Zoroastrianism spread in the Caucasus and Atropatene. Caucasian Albanians, the original inhabitants of northeastern Azerbaijan, ruled that area from around the 4th century BC, and established an independent kingdom. From the Sassanid period to the Safavid period, the Maiden Tower and the Palace of the Shirvanshahs in the old city of Baku is a UNESCO World Heritage Site built in the 11th to the 12th century. Maiden Tower Palace of the Shirvanshahs. The Sasanian Empire turned Caucasian Albania into a vassal state in 252, while King Anir officially adopted Christianity as the state religion in the 4th century. Despite Sassanid rule, Albania remained an entity in the region until the 9th century, while fully subordinate to Sassanid Iran, and retained its monarchy. Despite being one of the chief vassals of the Sasanian emperor, the Albanian king had only a semblance of authority, and the Sasanian Marzban, military governor, held most civil, religious, and military authority. In the first half of the 7th century, Caucasian Albania, as a vassal of the Sasanians, came under nominal Muslim rule due to the Muslim conquest of Persia. The Umayyad Caliphate repulsed both the Sasanians and Byzantines from Transcaucasia and turned Caucasian Albania into a vassal state after Christian resistance led by King Javanshir was suppressed in 667. The power vacuum left by the decline of the Abbasid Caliphate was filled by numerous local dynasties such as the Salarids, Sajids, and Shaddadids. At the beginning of the 11th century, the territory was gradually seized by waves of Oghuz Turks from Central Asia. The first of these Turkic dynasties established was the Seljuk Empire, who entered the area now known as Azerbaijan by 1067. The pre-Turkic population that lived on the territory of modern Azerbaijan spoke several Indo-European and Caucasian languages, among them Armenian and an Iranian language, Old Azeri, which was gradually replaced by a Turkic language, the early precursor of the Azerbaijani language of today. Some linguists have also stated that the Tati dialects of Iranian Azerbaijan and the Republic of Azerbaijan, like those spoken by the Tats, are descended from Old Azeri. Locally, the possessions of the subsequent Seljuk Empire were ruled by Eldeguzids, technically vassals of the Seljuk sultans, but sometimes de facto rulers themselves. Under the Seljuks, local poets such as Nizami Ganjavi and Ghakhani gave rise to a blossoming of Persian literature on the territory of present-day Azerbaijan. The local dynasty of the Shirvanshahs became a vassal state of Timur's empire, and assisted him in his war with the ruler of the Golden Horde Toktamish. Following Timur's death, two independent and rival states emerged, Karakoyunlu and Akkoyunlu. The Shirvanshahs returned, maintaining a high degree of autonomy as local rulers and vassals from 861, for numerous centuries to come. In 1501, the Safavid dynasty of Iran subdued the Shirvanshahs, and gained its possessions. In the course of the next century, the Safavids converted the formerly Sunni population to Shia Islam, as they did with the population in what is modern-day Iran. The Safavids allowed the Shirvanshahs to remain in power, under Safavid suzerainty, until 1538, when Safavid King Thomas Pi, r. 1524–1576, completely deposed them, and made the area into the Safavid province of Shirvan. The Sunni Ottomans briefly managed to occupy parts of present-day Azerbaijan as a result of the Ottoman-Safavid War of 1578–1590. By the early 17th century, they were ousted by Safavid Iranian ruler Abbas I, r. 1588–1629. In the wake of the demise of the Safavid Empire, Baku and its environs were briefly occupied by the Russians as a consequence of the Russo-Persian War of 1722–1723. Despite brief intermissions such as these by Safavid Iran's neighbouring rivals, the land of what is today Azerbaijan remained under Iranian rule from the earliest advent of the Safavids up to the course of the 19th century. Contemporary history. Main articles: Russo-Persian Wars, Treaty of Gulistan, and Treaty of Turkmenchay. See also Azerbaijan Democratic Republic, Azerbaijan SSR, and Operation Edelweiss, territories of the Khanates and Sultanates. In the 18th to the 19th century, after the Safavids, the area was ruled by the Iranian Afsharid dynasty. After the death of Nader Shah, r. 1736–1747, many of his former subjects capitalized on the